Hello, Bleacher Report Nation. It's great to be here again. I'm your host, Greg Waddell. I'm joined today by my co host, Carter Elliott, and we are huge college basketball fans who want to talk some of the best freshmen in the country today. Not just the biggest names, though. Not just Darryn Peterson, not just Cam Boozer, not just AJ Dybantsa. Instead, we are after six freshmen that could possibly approach the levels of greatness that we expect from the three greatest freshmen in this class. We've each prepared lists of six. I'm excited to see who's on your list. I'm excited to unveil who's on my list, Carter. And today, it's great to be joined by you, my friend. How are you? Are you excited for this room?
I'm very excited for this room. I think every single year in college basketball, you obviously have the big name freshmen coming in, but then you get towards the season, you get towards the NBA draft year, and you get to see players that make a bigger name for themselves, outplay their ranking possibly. I mean, me being a Michigan State fan, seeing what Jace Richardson was able to do last season for my team as more of a lower level back end top 100 recruit. I think you see it from year to year. It's not just about the top guys. There's talent all through this class, and it's I think we have identified some of the ones that people might not be talking about enough compared to the Bansas, the Petersons, and the Boozers of the world.
Yeah, it's hard to go under the radar when you are as big of a name as Dybantsa, Peterson, and Boozer. Also hard to go under the radar when you're as big as you are, which is why you're here today to help us break this down. Should we start? Should we get to our list of six?
Yeah, let's get to it. We don't want a patchy listen like your beard.
Let's do it, folks. As I said, six for Carter, six for me. We'll start at the bottom and we will work our way up as we always do. I give you the choice of who gets to go first. However, I've just decided I'm not giving you the choice. I'm pulling rank. I'm going first because I love the sixth guy on my list. It's Keaton Wagler from Illinois. Now, this kid, depending on which recruiting services you are looking at, Keaton Wagler may not be in the top 100. He may not be in the top 150. He ended up by most consensus services being a fringe four-star recruit. I believe he was a three-star recruit when he originally committed to Illinois. However, this kid's got track record. You see the production in front of you, 19 points a game, rounding up. Always round up to fit your narratives, folks. In Kansas, where he was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year, some really, really good college basketball players have been crowned the Kansas Gatorade Player of the Year. Go through history, you'll see a lot of former Jayhawks that won a lot of games in college. And the buzz from practice with Wagler has been sensational. All the talk this summer has been that he has exceeded all expectations. He's come in ready. There was one moment where, you and I don't always play the source game, but we got a text from somebody that saw it with their own eyes and was at a practice and said the Illinois staff believes that Wagler will be their next NBA product. Not saying he's Kasparis Yakichonis right now, but if they don't get him to the league, they will feel they have done something wrong. And it sounds like he's working on point guard duties as well, maybe to play a little earlier than people expect, Cart.
Yeah, I really like what his potential could be. And I think that Brad also does a great job with the Keaton Wagler archetypes. Like you look at like the wing, frame, body. They talked about his playmaking this summer, and whether it's the coaches, the media, the players themselves on their team, the one thing I took away from this is they asked Kylan Boswell, the point guard, to expand on what Keaton Wagler does well. He just said he's cold, straight up. And that is the endorsement that I need because I don't need more people telling me that Trent Noah's shooting it well on the gun.
Which has been the story, by the way, if you are wondering. All right, Cart, that's my first submission to our under the radar freshman. Who is your first submission?
Because we're always in lockstep, Gregory, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten on this one, and I'm going with Washington point guard JJ Mandaquit. Now, depending on what service you look at, JJ Mandaquit has always kind of been like the second fiddle recruit. Like even on his Utah prep team where he played with AJ Dybantsa, he kind of got overlooked somewhat. But this is a kid who didn't look out of place playing this summer with the Unite Team USA team. I think he's a consummate floor general type point guard. 6'1", he can distribute, he can score the ball for himself. I also think he rebounds pretty well for his size. And going to play for a Washington team this year, I think he can bring something that will help that team that they don't necessarily have. Like I don't look at Wesley Yates as like the point guard type. I don't even look at Desmond Claude either in that realm whatsoever at all. So I do think that there's a world where JJ Mandaquit becomes this starting point guard for Washington, maybe playing next to Wesley Yates and Desmond Claude. And I think he's going to find himself to be in a spot where he could be very, very impactful. He's a winner. When I watch him, I get like Peyton Pritchard type vibes. I think he could be that type of player. And I just love his game.
Peyton Pritchard vibes, huh? That's the comp?
Peyton Pritchard vibes. Yep.
Wow. Like one of the clutchest March Madness players in the last decade?
Darn Skippy.
Wow. Okay. I don't hate it, Cart. My favorite thing about JJ Mandaquit is his nickname,
What is it?
Carter's Gym Membership. Because that man done quit. He has. He has. JJ's going to be very good. I liked him in FIBA's World Cup training camp this summer with Team USA. I think he's got pedigree. I'm a little annoyed he chose Washington. I got to be honest, because I don't know how much opportunity is there, but I loved his game before then, and I still love it. I like that submission. Hey, reminder, this is an interactive live show. We want you to jump in and give us your submissions as well. Let's check in with the chat for just a moment. Doc Ox says Alex Lloyd, don't sleep on him. Alex Lloyd at Florida, 4-star shooting guard. I don't know how much he's going to play is my only question.
Yeah, I think there's a world where he could have an impact with the departure of Denzel Aberdeen during the transfer portal. But I do like his game. I loved a lot of his stuff in high school.
Yeah, I agree. And then next we have Brandon Bynum, who says Caleb Wilson has to be on this or we have a protest. I don't know if Caleb Wilson qualifies as under the radar. I mean, I won't speak for your list, Cart. There's one guy on my list that's a 5-star recruit. I tried to go more lower off the radar than that.
Yeah, I was kind of a little bit more on the radar, given my mass and my size. So you know what? There's a lot of names left on this list. Let's not get greedy now. Just wait on it, folks. Stick with us.
Do love Caleb Wilson, though. He's going to be North Carolina's best player this year, I think.
Hmm. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Into our fives. Next on my list is another player who's gotten a lot of summer buzz. I'm going to Kansas, and I'm looking at Cole Rosario. Now, Cole Rosario was a late commit here for Bill Self. They got him to commit over the summer after we were all wondering what Bill Self was doing with his transfer portal class. Why isn't he spending money? None of these guys are impact players. We're confused. Well, it seemed like Bill Self was willing to just sit back because he knew he had Cole Rosario coming. And the stories from those that have seen Kansas's practices this summer are that Cole Rosario may be the second best player on this team. I think what Bill Self's after here really is another Johnny Furphy type season where you've got this guy who's clearly really talented, a big wing shooter with size. And by the end of the year, he's got a decision on whether to go pro or not. Now, Darryn Peterson's going to get all the headlines, but he needs a running mate. I think the rest of this team is full of role players outside of Flory Badunga. If Rosario is ready, I think he's going to get a lot of secondary scoring opportunities, be able to play off of Darryn Peterson and use his athleticism. The jumper's the question for me. You see that 27% three-point mark in front of you. High school and prep ball numbers, it's a small sample size, right? You could shoot great at like an EYBL event and shoot it poorly somewhere else. I buy that Rosario's shot will at least be usable in year one. And if it's usable, he might be a one and done.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me too. I think he made a good point with Rosario is that he did have a really good summer with Team CP3 on the EYBL circuit, where he was one of the better shooters and the athleticism was there. And you look at like what a Johnny Furphy was able to do. His role was to play on the wing off of a great player, which would be Darryn Peterson in this case. And when Peterson passes you ball, you shoot ball. And when Peterson passes you on cut ball, you dunk ball. And you make it very easily, and you could possibly make yourself a lot of money doing that at the next level. So I love that pick. We've also heard a lot of good positive affirmations and words from Cole Rosario this summer.
Yeah, we have. All right, who's number 5 on your list?
You know what? I didn't mean to do a theme here, but it seems to be a theme, and I'm gonna make it a thing. Is that this is another player who has gotten a lot of summer buzz, and this is Matthew Abel, who will be playing at NC State this season. A player that is probably right around the 30s, I think, by most recruiting services. Gregory, I'm a sucker for college players that get into the gym with NBA players, and you don't notice that they're college players. Even looking at this picture that we have on the screen here from Matthew Abel's commitment post, he has already done incredible things to his frame. He looks a lot stronger. For anybody out there who is very tuned into Swiss Culture's YouTube channel, I was able to see a good amount of him getting runs with NBA players. And Matthew Abel, I think, with the 6'5" frame, he's gotten a lot stronger, I think, as well. I think he can shoot the ball. I like the three-level scoring ability he has. I think he's going to have a pretty big impact in an ACC that seems to be dominated by the Cam Boozers of the world when it comes to freshman of the year talks or Caleb Wilson. I think Matt Abel is going to be in that conversation as well.
What's the connection between him and Rosario?
That they both had really good summers.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm liking how you stretch these themes.
Just like
Yeah.
I reached for the dessert cabinet, I reached on that one. I'm beat you with that, didn't I?
I'm excited to watch you keep trying as we go to make connections between unconnected players. No, I like Abel. I think he's a guy really that if he chose a more blue bloody school, I think we look at him completely differently. Now he has more opportunity, I think, at NC State, which will be good for his prospects this year. But feels like he's just been kind of swept aside and forgotten about because he's playing for Will Wade and NC State. Big time scorer. I think he can fill it up. Won't be shocked if he's NC State's second leading scorer. I don't think he's going to reach Darryn Williams levels, but outside of that, he could be that for that team. And if he is, he might be a one and done as well. Let's check back in with the chat. A couple more names that have come up that they're mentioning here. We start with Love Kari, who says, Mello's son, eyeball emojis, eyeball emojis. Respect Kai and Anthony. Give him first name treatment, please.
Hey, you earned that top 50 recruit. Look, I do like what Kai and Anthony could do this season. I'm just scared of what Red Autry and Syracuse are going to do to him.
What do you think they are going to do to him?
Probably the wrong thing, whatever that might be.
That's usually what happens with talented Syracuse guards in recent years. Next up is John Brad, who says Chase Mallory, Virginia. If I recall correctly, you were a big Mallory fan at the prep level. Am I wrong on that?
Are you actually asking me this? Or are you trying to do something here?
No, I'm not doing a bit this time. I thought you
Okay,
liked Chase
cool.
Mallory.
Yeah, I think well, both of us are definitely fans of Mallory, I would say. But yeah, I did like what he did at the prep level. Looking at UVA's roster, I'm wondering like what his role is necessarily going to be with the transfers they had coming in and some of the other pieces they got. But you know, the small bit I was able to see of him at the prep level, I was a fan of it, I must say.
And it was a small bit because he's 5'9".
Yeah, it was definitely a small bit.
Yeah, just a little teeny tiny little guy over there in Virginia. Okay, up the list we go to number 4. I am curious how you're going to try and make a connection with this guy. You said you love players who have great summers, and you can't tell they're not NBA guys. I love 6'11" centers with alopecia. Sue me. What am I supposed to do about it? Okay. I was a big Isaiah Austin guy back in the day. Big Xavier Staten guy. BYU bound center. This kid's a freak. I think he's a freak rim protector. Michigan, my team was after him for a while. Thought they were going to get him. They didn't. He chose Provo, and who could blame him? Now, the question is, how much is he going to play? Because they have their center, Keba back. But as I always like to say about Keba, he's 6'7". What are you doing with a 6'7" center when you have this 6'11" freak rim protector behind him? I think Staten looks incredible. Anytime we've popped or anytime we've watched any BYU film this summer, he has popped like crazy. I love him. I just think his rebounding and rim protection is going to be an immediate fix for BYU. And he is a future NBA center that is just spending a year or two in Provo first.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, to your point, despite how you feel about Keba, he just brings something he does not have. He's 7 feet tall. He's a shot blocker. And every time you watch him during the summer, like you said, I think he has popped on film. And I think sooner rather than later, that will be the starting center for BYU. And then you look at what they could have size-wise on the floor. You got Dybantsa on the floor. Richie Saunders is 6'6". Staten is 7 foot. You got yourself a really big team behind like a smaller point guard and Rob Wright. But I think it could be a really good year for BYU.
If this goes to plan, I think he's BYU starting center by March because he's too good to keep off the floor, and it changes the team with his length. But we'll see if it goes to my plan or not. Who's 4th on your list, and how are you going to connect them to my favorite alopecian center?
So this one is easy for me. My number 4 player is a player that I thought my school was going to end up with, and they didn't end up getting. My number 4 player is Jalen Harrelson from Notre Dame. Thank you so much for making that easy on me. Jalen Harrelson was a kid who was consensus like top 10, honestly, for most of his high school career. during the end, he did falter a little bit, didn't have the best showings in the McDonald's game and some other little events like the Hoop Summit and things such as that. But I think what he brings is that you have this 6'7", basically point guard that I think can rebound the ball. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. Too much brain rot for my ability, even myself. But I think you look at what Shrewsbury has been able to do with his prototype, right? I think like Jalen Pickett was this booty ball point guard kind of player, and he was really good with him. Jalen Pickett got drafted because of Michael Shrewsbury, with all due respect. I think playing next to Marcus Burton, he'll have the ability to be like this, Marcus Burton will be the scorer of the team. Jalen Harrelson will be the size, distributor, do a bunch of things, and kind of play off ball a little bit. Now, I'm worried about the 3-point shot, but outside of that, I think he does a lot of things that really fill the box score. And Notre Dame's going to need him too, by the way. Like outside of Marcus Burton, they really have a bunch of role players. And I think Jalen Harrelson could be that secondary star.
So I loved Jalen Harrelson as a prep guy, and this is not a debate room. I'm not trying to come in and shoot down your list, but I am going to do that with this guy because I got to be honest, I'm starting to have a few red flags in mind when I watch and think about Harrelson this year, Cart. I loved him at the prep level. One of my biggest red flags with a player is when the scout on him is, oh, he's a winner. And then he goes to a school where he's not going to win. Like that, he had a bunch of winning programs that wanted him to come be a part of it. He was like, no, let me go to Notre Dame and be the guy. I worry how much the booty ball thing is actually real anymore when he hasn't done it in 3 years. Like that one Penn State team might have just been a Penn State team that was special.
Can,
You're talking booty ball with Harrelson with Marcus Burton running around with the ball too. I don't see it, Cart.
can I stop you there and let you know one thing that puts that to shame? You were doing really good, but can I let you know why that's not true?
Sure.
Booty is forever.
He's not wrong, folks. He's really not. All right, we're halfway through our list. Keep the chats coming. We see a couple. We're going to go straight to 3, and we'll get to chats in a little bit. Next on my list, he's my guy. Literally mine. Big Mac himself, Trey McKinney, Burger Boy in more ways than one. This guy's body fat is special. So is his 3-point shot. I love him. He is really good. He's really, really good. And if you listen to Dusty May, he's shocked how good he is. Like the media day stuff for Michigan started this week. It started this week. And all Dusty had to say was Trey McKinney is just way better than we expected him to be. And we thought he was going to be really good. Reports from practice this summer are that he's like broken Michigan's 3-point shooting records in drills. Look, I don't know how real it is because I've tried to be careful with his role. This Michigan team is loaded. They bring back Namari Burnett in front of him as the starting shooting guard from a team that made a Sweet 16 last year. There's a world that Trey McKinney is just too good to keep off the floor. It would look a lot like the world that your team lived in last year, where Jace Richardson was not supposed to be a big part of that team, but over time it was just clear he had to be. And once it became clear this team went to a whole nother level, that would happen for Michigan if Trey McKinney is on the floor consistently. And it sounds like he's killing in summer workouts right now. This is a rival of yours. It's also a guy Tom Izzo wanted for quite a while. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I love McKinney's game. He's a bucket getter. Also, shout out to our good friend, our producer Ian, for using that photo where his face looks like my face. He did do a really good job with his body this summer, and if he's in shape, he is just a bucket, man. His bag is crazy, right? And it's not even anything like wild. There's no crazy athleticism or pop or burst. He just scores the ball, man. He scores the ball and he shoots the ball well, and he's been doing it his whole life. We've been seeing Trey McKinney score at the Michigan prep level since we've been covering this, and we've been doing this for a long time. So, yeah, I really like that pick. I'm interested to see what his role will be on this team. Now we'll get to my number 3 here. Shout out to my guy who asked about this earlier. I don't know your name. I forgot it. I got the memory of an elephant. I'm also shaped like one. It is Caleb Wilson from the North Carolina Tar Heels at number 3. Now, this one is one I don't feel good about putting on the under the radar thing because he is a top 5, top 10 recruit, Greg.
He's
But
the
I feel
8th rated player in the class. How's he under the radar?
because people talk about him like he's Julius Avent. All right. He's not. And I'm sick of it. This guy is on the level with the Boozers, the Dybantsas, and the Nate Amons of the world when it comes to talent. I think he's a two-way player. I think he has great size, 6'10 forward. You see that he can shoot the ball from 3 as well a little bit. I'm a little less convinced about that, but he blocks shots, he gets steals. He's all about, what do they call it, coaches nowadays? Stocks. He's good on stocks. Call him Robin Hood, all right? I really like this kid's game. I think people would put him in a different conversation if he wasn't playing for Hubie Davis. But I want to do my favorite thing in the world. Where would we be talking about Caleb Wilson if he didn't play for Hubert Davis? What if Caleb Wilson went to Kentucky? What if Caleb Wilson went to Duke? We would be talking about him like he's Cam Boozer. So put him in that realm.
Yeah, I hear it. I am going to criticize you for something I'm going to do in one of my final two spots on the list. I don't know how a guy that's eighth can be under the radar. You better believe this kid is like transcendent to call him under the radar at eighth. Everybody knows who Caleb Wilson is. He's supposed to be UNC's best player. Now, if you think he's like going to be the best freshman 25 years at Carolina, then I'm listening. Do you think he's that good?
Yeah, I think he is that good.
Wow. Wow. All right. I guess we'll see. Let's go to chats for a moment. Isaiah Sapp says Spencer Aarons from Boise State is a sleeper.
Yeah.
Is this an Aarons family member?
Yeah, remember you guys wanted him. You recruited this kid. So did Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Back in the Juwan years.
Oh, back in the
Yeah.
I like his game. I think he's a bucket.
Okay. Boise State will love him. Hayden says, I feel like Isaiah Harwell will turn heads. I like Isaiah Harwell. Under the radar, I don't know. He is a 5-star.
Right. So the peek behind the scene on that one, I was trying to get a Houston freshman into this, but they just brought in 3 5-stars.
Yeah, extremely true. Grayson Stock says Matthew Abel is a sleeper pick. Love that one. Yeah, seems like there's a lot of Matthew Abel love today.
Appreciate you, Grayson.
Yeah, it was a sleeper pick.
That was a big up to me.
Well, you are a sleeper, so
you haven't got one chat that's been like, great list, Greg.
You think I can change that before the show ends?
You got 2 chances to do it. Make the most of it.
Try my damnedest. Next on the list is a guy that for me is like 20 spots too low in recruiting rankings. It's Tunde Yesufu. Tunde stepping into a program at Baylor that has just produced repeated studs. You go back through the years, VJ Edgecombe, Keontae George, plenty before them going back to their national title run. Jacoby Walter even was a one and done. This program, this system offensively is fun, it's productive, and if you are the first option in Scott Drew offense, you're going to be sensational. Now, we have not ever seen a Baylor roster that has needed their first option to do as much as Tunde is going to be asked to do this year. It's crazy. They surrounded him with a bunch of mid-major guys that, quite frankly, maybe shouldn't be at Baylor. But everywhere Tunde's been on the prep level this year, he's been a monster. The eye test says this kid will be all-American level good this year. I think he's one of the only non-Big Three freshmen that has that level of upside. He draws Anthony Edwards comparisons all the time. And he's rated outside the top 10. It makes no sense to me. I think he's efficient. I think he's physically gifted. And I think he's a bit insane. And I think Baylor needs that from their alpha this year. I can't wait to watch Tunde at Baylor.
Yeah, I love this pick from you. I love Tunde's game. It's also funny that he leans into the fact that people say he plays and looks like Anthony Edwards because he legit showed up to the Nike Hoop Summit dressed like Anthony Edwards. So he really kept it going. Good on him on that one. Moving on to my number 2 player on this list, I'm going with Braylon Mullins from UConn. Now, you're probably going to bite my head off on this one. Braylon Mullins is anywhere between like 10 and probably 15 by most recruiting services. But the one thing that earns him a spot on this list is that I think that Braylon Mullins might be the best bucket getter in this class. I mean, 32 points a game as a senior, 59% from the field, 44% from 3. And let me give you a little insight here. None of those shots were easy. Those were tough. Now, they might have been against, the future Purdue engineers of the world, but at the same time, my dog got buckets at every single stop. He rebounded well. He passed the ball well. Has good size at 6'6". And, I just give Dan Hurley a toolbox where he is an offensive weapon like Braylon Mullins. I have a hard time not predicting that that's going to be something that's going to look incredible once he plays for UConn.
Yes. Yeah, this is the perfect UConn program player fit, right? What they've done with Liam McNeely is exactly what they're trying to do with Braylon Mullins. I think he's awesome. I think he picked a championship level team, which I admire. He was rumored to go to Indiana for a while, and knowing there was a coaching change coming, was like, no, let me go play for the baddest MF or coach in the sport. I think Mullins is going to be awesome. I just question I don't know if there's a world where he is perceived the way like a Dybantsa is at the end of this year, just because of how loaded UConn is. But he might be the Con Knipple of this year's class, where it's like, oh, this guy's way better than he's supposed to be, and it makes our team unstoppable. I could definitely buy a world where that happens. Let's reveal our number one on the list before we get to our final chats of the show. And I'm going to break my rule here. I'm going to take a guy that is ranked in the top 10 undeniably. It's Michael Brown. It's your guy.
Oh, who's that?
F it. Let's throw the L's up. Let's actually do it.
It's
Michael
10
Brown
fingers,
Jr.
Greg. Do it correctly.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Michael Brown might actually be a generational guard. And I know we're not supposed to use that word. We're not supposed to do it. But when your head coach is like, yeah, I've never seen a player like this, comparing him like maybe it's Chris Paul saying, yeah, because we got him, we're point guard you now. We should probably take notice. Like either Pat Kelsey is doing the best used car salesman job ever, and I'm stupid, or Michael Brown is going to be really, really special. I mean, Ryan Conwell is one of the best guards in the country, and all of the talk this summer, even from Ryan Conwell, is about how easy it is for him to play alongside Michael Brown because of how special Michael Brown is. Like, that's fascinating to me. He was the best player for Team USA at the World Cup this summer when AJ Dybantsa was on the team. He's the only guy outside of those three that has the pedigree to actually be as good as those three.
Yeah, some nights when I'm not being able to sleep or, I kind of just think about what life could possibly be. I one time had a thought like, what would a 6'4", 6'5" Kyrie Irving look like? And then Michael Brown came along, and it's been great. He's literally 6'5" Kyrie with a stupid vertical. I think he literally has a chance to be the next kind of generational guard prospect that is playing at the NBA level. He has all the tools to do so. He's going to be in a great system to do so this year. He's going to be must-see television whenever Louisville is on the TV this year. So I love the pick from you, Greg.
And if I'm not wrong, you want Michael ranked ahead one of the members of the Big Three, don't you?
I do. I would like him ahead of Nepo Boozer.
Nepo. It's a little spicy to say that. I wouldn't go that far, but he's my clear number 4 for sure. Your final name on the list, Cart. Who is it?
Hey, Greg, I got us. If no one got us, I got us. It's our guy. It's a Caden Lewis for Villanova.
Good.
This one is he's going to have the opportunity to do everything for this team. Stop me if you heard this name before, Devin Askew. That's his running mate, okay? And also Devin Askew is now hurt, so he doesn't even have a running mate. I think that Caden Lewis has the competitive spirit. I think that he has the game to really have an impact for Villanova in honestly a Big East conference that I have questions about. I think he has the possibility to be one of the better guards in the Big East. We saw that he was able to compete with the higher level guards in his class. Him and Michael Brown at the Donovan Mitchell camp this summer was special, elite ones by those guys. So yeah, I'm very, very, very excited to watch Caden Lewis. I think he has a lot of skill, opportunity, and just mental makeup to be one of the better freshmen in this year's class.
He has a chip too. Like, this dude seeks out smoke at all times. He goes to events and says, who's the best player here? Check ball. He did that with Michael earlier this summer, and it went viral. I just adore this kid. Every possible step he's taken in his prep basketball career has been centered around trying to prove that he's better than people realize. And he's done it repeatedly. That's why Blue Bloods wanted him. That's why he was a Kentucky commit. He also is another one that has one of my favorite nicknames in the class.
What's that?
What Carter says when he sees an all-you-can-eat buffet. Okay, Dan.
All right.
Okay, Dan. Let's go to the chat. Wild
You're
Meteor.
labrum okay from that.
Why? Well, you were reaching earlier. I thought it was my turn. Wild Meteor starts us off and says, Acuff or Thomas from Arkansas need to be on here. They are not on here. And respectfully, they're top 10 players in the class, and they're not Michael Brown.
We also talk about them a lot. If you're able to tune into some of our other stuff, Sleepers Media on YouTube, we talk about them on a daily basis, like it's a daily prayer.
I don't think you can be a John Calipari commit and be under the radar.
It's not. Especially not the guard spot.
It's not how it works. Roll Tide 87 does not give us a Bama commit. Instead, gives us Dame Sarr.
You know, There's another Duke player that almost made my list, and it was actually Sebastian Wilkins, given all we've seen this summer from him.
You know, the hard part with Sarr is it sounds like he's not performing in practice. Sounds like there's a big adjustment curve and it's not working. I'm not stunned by that given how he left FC Barcelona and all the mystique that goes around his recruitment right now, but not a bad shout because he's falling further under the radar as we get closer to the season. Coach ML Nelson says Sean Abayev. That's a name that I would have loved to have on this list.
Yeah, I think we did miss that. We're big Sean Abayev fans. He's going to be a bucket getter in every sense.
If he was on my list, he would have been there in place of Wagler. And I just really wanted to go further outside the top 100 for one guy. But Abayev's a great shout. I think he belongs. Haymaker says, what are your thoughts on Jasper Johnson?
Is he going to play?
Positive buzz this week that he is shining right now.
Was that before or after Mo Diabate was called Draymond Green and JQ was the generational post prospect and Jalen Lowe hasn't missed a shot all summer and Trent Noah went 197 for 197 from three with his left hand?
This is normal off-season positivity stuff or off-season freshman stuff, but Jasper floating has been a constant discussion point of Kentucky practices. Not exactly what you want to hear if you're buying a Jasper breakout. Klein says, fine, I'll say it. Great list, Greg.
Yeah, it is a great list for what it's worth, Greg. I will say that.
And score one for me. We're now even. 1 point Carter, 1 point me. Final chat of the day. Jay Stark says Carter's list is better.
Score me 1 point. Carter 2-1.
Well, you getting double what I get is fitting.
I bet you wish your weight started with 2-1.
Wait, what is that?
Wait, actually, that's the wrong way.
That is the wrong way.
Yeah,
I was thinking for a second.
It's now 3-2 you. I'll take the marks. Yeah, it's on me.
Let's recap the chat, folks. Okay, first off, thank you. This was a great show, very interactive today. We love when our chat chimes in with great answers throughout. You guys did that, so shout out to y'all. I had Keaton Wagler, Cole Rosario, Xavier State, Trey McKinney, Tunde Yesufu, and Mike Brown. You had JJ Mandaquid, Matt Abel, Jalen Harrelson, Caleb Wilson, Braylon Mullins, and Caden Lewis. If my list played your list, starting five and a sixth man, who wins?
Oh.
Gotta be the team with Michael.
Michael and Tunde is tough. It's probably your team.
But yours is guys that I think are more likely to maybe exceed draft stock compared to mine.
Yeah,
maybe?
Probably better GPA too.
Probably so. I would think so. All right, that's the show, everybody. Reminder, we do this every single week. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, live in the BR app and on the Bleacher Report YouTube channel. You can find us. If you want more from us, we are Sleepers Media. We have our own Sleepers Media YouTube channel where we are doing 6 hours of college basketball talk every single day. You can get the Sleepers podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We love doing these rooms. We love interacting with y'all, so thank y'all for showing out. And, Cart, you get the final word today.
I just want to send a shout out to One Star Country Club in Baltimore, Maryland. I need to get back over to Baltimore. I hope my friend TJ is doing well. He's in a little bit of a cold streak right now, but just know we're in your corner, Tej.
Thank you for that. We'll see y'all next week.